Amon Carter Foundation. And she recommended that, I was told somewhere, recommended that it be called in memory of Monsignor Robert M. Nolan, and that M was Michael. I looked it up. I can say a few words about it if you want me
to. Remember to be looking over here.
Looking over here.
Okay. Yes, right. That's where the camera is.
Okay. So I think you could pick this up that Monsignor Nolan had died in 1939. So 1874 to 1939. And he had been born in Kansas. And his parents were Patrick and Margaret Nolan from Ireland. They had come from Ireland. And by the way, he is buried in Mount Olive, the crucifixion section in Fort Worth. And I think if they don't, some of the students and some of your future should be aware of that and visit Monsignor Nolan.
What were some of your biggest challenges, do you think?
Well, challenges.
Especially if you were brought in as the disciplinarian.
Yeah. There was this scaring of how would the boys and girls react with each other, and you would see them trying to meet each other in the hallways, but their times of classes were different, and in the library, and so there was a concern about that, and I think that was working out all right. I don't think that was a biggie. But one example of that year, from the point of view of discipline, I have a favorite example. One day, Father Sebastian, see, that first year that I was there, when it was actually 4 years of boys, 4 years of girls, 3 Benedictine priests came over to help. And as I'm recalling, Father Sebastian pardon, these 4 names, I had them in my mind, and they jumped out. So you'll have to change it. The 3 Benedictines were Father Harold and Father Sebastian, and I think it was Father Camilla, those 3. And Father Harold, I believe, stayed around there a few years. The other 2 was only there that 1 year. Now, one day, Father Sebastian comes to me at the office. I taught a couple classes, and then I was the detail man. So Father Sebastian came to the office, and he said, "Brother," he said, "I walked into my class, I think it was the American history class, and they all went out the windows. They would have been the junior boys, and they went out the windows. It was, as you know better than I'm, the ground level." And he said, "I don't know what to do." So I said, "I'll take care of that." So I walked down the hallway and went outside and looked down, and they were all standing around, sort of waiting for something's going to happen. And here we are. So I gave them a motion to come back, and they came, and we had several rooms vacant. So I had a room, and I had them go in and sit down and put their books or whatever they had. I don't know what kind of desks, I don't remember, but put them away and look at me. And I had an inspiration I felt from my guardian angel. And what I did is I said, now you look at me and I'll look at you. Now this is for about a half hour, because it was, you know, a good part of the class time. And my idea on this was that if I preached to them and hollered and screamed at them, some it might mean something to, some it may have been entertaining. So I felt that they would hear, by looking at me, what they needed to know. And so that's what I did. Towards the end of the period, I said, now when the bell rings, you go to your next class, and I will see you Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and you will be here till noon doing math problems. So that was the way that was treated, and I remember that just like it was yesterday, that experience.
Do you remember any of those students' names or anything?
No, I think, you know, I think Galanowitz was in that junior class. I remember him because, you know, later on he was Marion's brother for many years and a friend of mine. So I remember Paul Galanowitz. Some of the other names, when they're mentioned, I'll remember them, you know. But having been in 6 schools, you know, 40 years in high school work, there are so many names, you know. But when I see the names or hear the names, some things come back. And I felt that we got along very well. I never felt that there was really any problems. Brother Leo took care of it.
And what class did you teach?
I think I had an American history class and then an algebra class until there was someone who came along, a coach or something, sometime during the year, and he took that math class, I think. So I had 1 or 2 classes, and as I'm remembering it.
Well, some of the brothers talked about, like Brother Rowie had student council, and some of the others were part of with the basketball team. Did you have a student group that you were moderating or part of?
No, I don't remember we had much of that first year. You know, I don't recall, and I didn't have any of it. The biggest event of the year was the Cuban Missile scare. And I don't know whether you want me to talk a little bit about that right now or not.
Did it happen during the school day?
Well, the year, 1962.
So did it become part of your curriculum or the
No.
way that you treated
It was
things
an
in school?
experience. We thought Fort Worth would be bombed because it had a strategic air command group there. And that was all a part of what was going on. And it was called the 13 Days of the Cuban Missile. And the brink of a nuclear war between Russia and the United States. It was a biggie. And we we, I think, got together, was getting food and stuff together for downstairs. I don't know the downstairs too well, but I think that's where